Hi everyone, my name's Danny from Derby County Community Trust and welcome to the first online lesson for our Matchday Maths programme. Okay, so over the next 6 lessons we're going to be talking all things maths and the skills that you use for maths both in and outside of school. Okay, how we can use add-in, subtracting, how we can talk about whether numbers are bigger or less than different numbers. Okay, and we're going to do lots of fun work along the way, but really importantly we want you to keep your work that you do. So please, any work that you complete over the next 6 weeks, let's see if we can keep it together and make it into a booklet. We can add colours, we can add drawings, and then at the end of the 6 lessons we can show our work to our friends, our family members and hopefully our teachers as well. Okay, so all we're going to need for each of our lessons, each week and each lesson, is we're going to need just some paper, a pencil, a few pens and some colouring pencils, and if we've got those we should be good to go. Okay guys, so for the first activity what we need you to do is we need you to create some rules. Okay, I'm going to show you a box now that we're going to fill out and draw, and it's really simple. I just need you to write 3 rules into our box. Okay, now these rules are going to be used to help us learn over the 6 weeks. These rules might be rules that you have at school already, or maybe some rules that you have at home with your family and friends. Okay, so create your own 3 that you really think are going to help you to learn during these lessons. Hopefully you managed to write 3 really good rules, guys. And now the next thing we need to do is to make ourselves a goal for the next 6 weeks. We want you to get as much out of these programs as possible. So how are we going to do that? We're going to do that by setting ourselves a goal. Okay, I want you to think of one thing that you want to get better at over the next 6 weeks, but remember it's got to be linked in with maths. Okay, what's your goal? Write it down in your box. Right, I hope you've wrote a good goal down that we can try and achieve over the next 6 weeks. The next activity we need to do is to create our own maths attacks cards. Some of you might have already seen the match attacks cards that are out and about at the moment and how we can use them to play a game with our friends or family in a top trump style game. I want you to create your own 6 though, and I'm going to show you a layout that I want you to follow. This layout is really easy and it will help us to add lots of detail and lots of colour to our pictures and our maths attacks cards. The cards I want you to make are, I want you to make one of yourself. I want you to make one of your best friend. I want you to make one of your favourite teacher. I want you to make one of your favourite toy. Can you make me one of your favourite book character? And finally, can you make me one of your favourite sports person? Remember, make sure the drawings in the middle of the maths attacks card are really detailed so everybody can know who it is. Don't forget to add some colour too. Well done. Hopefully we've now got 6 cards that are full of detail and colour. The next thing we need to do for our cards is to add our skills in. Some of you might have already seen there's some empty boxes on the layout such as speed, strength, power. We now need to fill those with numbers. I'm going to show you the numbers that I want you to put into your card. These cards will be really useful for the future weeks, so make sure you put the skills in the boxes that you want to, because we're going to use these for some games. Well done. Hopefully we've now got 6 cards that we can use for our future lessons. Remember though, the cards do need to have lots of detail and our skills on. This is going to be really important. The next part of our activity that we're going to look at is we're going to look at inequalities and equalities. Now this is basically when we say that a number is bigger or smaller than another number. For example, 5 is smaller than 10, but 10 is bigger than 5. I'm going to set you a challenge now. And in this challenge, I want you to think of different words that could also be used instead of smaller or bigger. If you can do this, maybe you can try and match the symbols to the words as well, whether it's smaller or whether it's bigger. Good luck. How did we get on? Hopefully you managed to come up with lots of words that we can use instead of smaller or bigger, and if you're really clever, maybe you managed to do the symbols as well. The next activity I want you to do is I want you to think of some numbers that are going to be bigger or smaller than the numbers I show you. Think of as many as you can, but we want to think of at least 5. Tell your partner, whoever you're with, and see if they can think of some as well. Have a go. How did we get on? Hopefully you managed to think of 5 numbers at least that were smaller or bigger than the numbers I gave you. Also, hopefully you managed to challenge a partner and see if they did it as well. For the next task, I'm going to give you some numbers and you have to tell me whether the first number is smaller or bigger than the second number. But I want you to say it into a sentence. And actually this time, I want you to use the words more or less than. These are 2 words that we can use instead of smaller or bigger. Less than is the same as smaller than, and more than is the same as bigger than. For example, if I give you the numbers 10 and 20, because the first number is 10, I would say 10 is less than 20. Can you get them all right? Good luck. How are we getting on? Hopefully you managed to get lots of answers right so far. I'm sure you have. We're now going to use our skills that we've picked up so far today, describing if numbers are bigger or smaller, more or less than different numbers in a game. All you need for this is your 6 cards that you made at the beginning of the lesson and also either a teacher or somebody at home to help you. For this game, we're going to get a teacher or whoever's at home helping you to read out a card that you've got. For example, you might let them start off with your maths attacks card that you drew of yourself. You could be holding the one of your best friend. Your teacher or whoever's at home is going to read out a skill along with that number. For example, power 6. When you're holding your card, you've now got to look at the power score on yours. If yours is 8, then obviously yours is more than theirs. What I want you to do is put your hand up or shout out, mine is 8. After this, I want you to say it as a full sentence. My power is 8. 8 is more than 6. See if you can give this a go for all of the instructions and all of the skills and all of the cards you've got. This should take a while, but it's lots of fun. How did we get on? Hopefully you managed to get lots of points against your teacher, but now we're going to learn to play others and we're going to play in a top trump style. You can do this in a 1v1 situation and how you can battle against your teammates or whoever you've got in your class or at home. Really simply, and like the last game, one of you starts. If I started and I was playing against somebody, I could read out speed 9. If my partner's speed is less than 9, then they have to say, my speed is 7. 7 is less than 9. Because my score is higher, I get the point and I carry on. But if your partner's is higher, they would say that, my speed is 10. 10 is higher than 9. Your partner then gets the point and then it is also your partner's turn. Maybe you could think of doing rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first. You could rotate each other's cards to see who gets to play with who. You could also go and create more cards if you want to, based on other favourite things or other family members or other friends you've got. Good luck and have lots of fun doing this. Well done, we're coming towards the end of today's lesson guys. So what I want to do now is set you a home challenge. All you're going to need for this is lots of socks and your 6 cards that you've created so far. When you get home I want you to play this game with somebody else in this challenge and try and see if you can beat your score every time. How we're going to play it is like this. I want you to set up a pile of socks 5 big steps away from you. Once you've done that, you go back to your original position and you are going to have a minute to complete this challenge. In a minute, whoever's helping you at home, whether it's a parent or a guardian or a brother or a sister, they're going to read out lots of questions for you. For example, 5 and 7. Is 5 higher or lower than 7? It's your job to then say the answer. For example, is 5 higher than 7? No, 5 is lower than 7. If you can get the answer right, you can run out to the sock pile, grab yourself a sock and then run back to the start. The key for this game is to see how many answers you can get right in a minute, and also along with this, how many socks you can grab. Hopefully you can score lots of right answers and get yourself lots of socks. You could make this different by increasing the distance in between you and your sock pile, or maybe even making it smaller. You could change your running to a hop or a jump to make it different as well. Maybe if you've got some other sports equipment like a football or a basketball or a tennis racket and a tennis ball, you could also use these somehow in your game. I hope you managed to get lots of scores and I hope you managed to get lots of socks. Thank you very much for joining today's lesson, guys, and I look forward to seeing you next week.